Hi, I'm Morgan Hines, and I'm in the PhocusWire studio at Focusrite Europe. I'm here with Peter O'Donovan of CarTrawler. Welcome. We're so excited to have you here. So I want to talk first about what motivates you to get up and go every day as CEO of CarTrawler.
Yeah, interesting. Real curveball at the start. I think I just love working with people. I think being in a position of leadership is a real position of sort of duty and really working hard on behalf of the people in what is a great business really is what gets me going. We created an amazing culture at CarTrawler. We're very much a people-led business. We're a smallish business, 350 people. Okay. So that's a great size to be able to foster a strong culture. And really that's what helps me is working my strong colleagues, my driven colleagues every single day. The travel sector is also a fascinating sector to work within as well. It gets me to come to lovely places like here in Barcelona, but also solve really interesting customer problems in terms of how do we ensure that sort of travel experiences meet customer expectations as well. And as CarTrawler is a technology-led business, we're working with the latest technologies, the latest tools, and again, that helps keep me on my toes and continue to learn, which is something that's really important to me.
So thinking about how dynamic the travel industry is, I'm curious to know what growth opportunities you see across the ground transportation sector.
Yeah, we look at it in a couple of perspectives as a business. So one is, in general, travel is going to continue to grow. So if you look at the sort of forecast levels, leisure travel, which is our sort of area, grows about 6 to 7% per year. And we continue to see that as a pretty consistent trend. So that's a big sort of growth dynamic. As a business, a lot of what we do is go out and win new customers. So that helps us grow even further ahead of that as well. So in the last 12 months alone, we've signed amazing partners like Finnair, Jet2, American Airlines, Virgin Australia, Qantas. So again, that sort of grows us as a business. And then obviously our platform, continue to invest into our platform. We've invested over the last 2-3 years specifically into our revenue management platform that's using, advanced machine learning algorithms to price our content, to sort our content. And also we invested heavily into a loyalty platform that's bringing to life on behalf of our partners, for example, like airlines, the ability for their end customer to earn and burn loyalty points through car rental, which is the primary product that we offer on our platform.
Okay, awesome. So obviously car rental is fundamental to the act of traveling. And you're talking a lot about new partners you've taken on and things like that. So what more needs to be done to facilitate more of a connected trip with other travel elements? Is it through partnerships? Yeah,
it's a fascinating question. If you think about it, all travel involves, you have to get to an airport, get from an airport, you have to get around a location when you travel there. So the car rental component of that is a critical part of that connected journey. And our proposition allows our partners, for example, airlines, offer a car rental offering at the point of maximum intent a customer has, which is when they're booking their flight. And at that point, actually, we know lots about the customer. We know where they're going, when they're going. We know if they're traveling with families, they'll need a bigger car. We also know what time their flight arrives at, so that helps us with the service elements. So if the flight is delayed, we can get onto the car supplier, tell them that you're going to be late and ensure that your car is there for them. So it allows us to deal with that. And also the data we get from airlines allows us to optimally revenue manage that content as well to ensure that we get the appropriate price set for that to maximize conversion, and also for our travel partners and airlines maximize the revenue outcomes for that. So looking for ways to continue to push that content to the end customer so that they actually take up car, and then as they pick up that car and manage that throughout the service journey to ensure we deliver high quality kind of content to them. We work with a really wide network of car suppliers. We've access to car rental opportunities in about 50,000 locations. So we're able to work with the best suppliers that are out there to ensure that our collective end customers get a really quality pick up and drop off experience and a really quality car as an element of that as well.
Cool. So when you're thinking about partnerships and how you're offering these different pieces of content to travelers, what are the kinds of partners that you're looking for usually?
Yeah, so we kind of probably our heartland as a business is in airlines. So we're partnered with about 70 airlines across the globe, so from United, from American, to EasyJet, to Wizz, Finnair, Swiss Airlines. So lots of the large logos that you'd be familiar with. We also work lots of OTAs and travel brands. So we're here in Barcelona today, the headquarters of eDreams out of Heo, who are a big partner of ours. We're also moving into some of the newer segments. So obviously loyalty is huge in America. Yeah. It's becoming even bigger and, increasingly bigger in Europe as well now. So working with loyalty providers who want to offer travel solutions to their loyalty membership and offering the best-in-class car rental solution in that is something that they want. And that's why they come to CarTrawler, to offer their customers high-quality car rental solutions in that as well. So sort of moving into that loyalty membership benefits group is another new area, a new segment for us.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And I want to circle back to something you touched on briefly before, but I'd love if you could elaborate a little bit on your AI strategy, particularly how are you using AI internally?
Yeah, so we have a real, a kind of a track record of using AI through its various sort of vintages as such. So, we've invested heavily in our data and our data science capabilities and skills. And as I said before, we price today using advanced machine learning algorithms. So as the next version of AI comes along, i.e. generative AI, we're sort of confident that we will, be able to take advantage of the opportunities that it presents. I think everybody's looking into the crystal ball in terms of what Gen AI is going to do. I think, if anybody tells you they know the answer to it, like they're lying, like nobody knows the answer. So really, our view is that we take the capabilities we've developed over multiple years in the space, pick a number of endpoints we feel the market is going to move to, and be ready to pivot really quickly in that. So if you look at actually what's happening in the market, and I think personally that travel is really well positioned to take advantage of the opportunities of generative AI. Because if you think about the best travel experiences you've had as a traveler, they're about being responsive, being personalized, being contextual. And actually they're the three things: responsiveness, personalization and contextual, that Gen AI is really good at. So I think travel has a real opportunity to take advantage of this next technological wave. But I think what we're seeing is happening is it's disrupting search. So how customers are searching for travel is changing. So what does that mean? I think the channels they will search through is going to change. I think the products they will use will change. And I think the customer journey that they will ultimately fulfill their booking through is going to change as well. So it's very difficult to predict where the future is. We're investing significantly in that. So for example, we're working, we've developed a magic search solution, which is sort of a voice-based search, which allows customers to go in and through voice and conversational commerce, search and book a car rental solution, for example.
Yeah. So is CarTrawler also preparing then for kind of agent-to-agent interaction?
Absolutely, yeah. And that's one of the routes forward that it could happen, is that actually it's agents who book on behalf of others. So whether that's your own personal sort of concierge booking service talking to the agent of a brand that we support on that's absolutely one route in terms of having open APIs that agents can speak to. The other area as well that we're looking at is generative UX, which is maybe the agents talk to each other, but actually the final points of the booking journey happen within a more traditional web funnel as such, but that funnel is generated live and dynamically based on what the agent tells it to do as well. So looking into the generative UX space as well. So this is sort of this idea of just backing multiple opportunities here and see which one or ones end up being the use cases in the near future. But it's rapidly evolving so quickly, is you have to be able to pivot quite quickly as technologies change, and keeping a sort of a focus and idea. And also as a business, having that culture of testing, innovating, and if it's not working, kind of pivoting.
Yeah. So what have you learned so far in that case? What's not working and what is?
Yeah, I think at its most fundamental, the importance of data is there. It sort of sounds obvious, but if you don't have the data, if it's not clean, if it's not accessible, there's very little that you can do. The second element that we've learned is around just the culture of actually getting people to be able to test, ideate and innovate in those spaces as well. And also, everybody talks about sort of minimal viable products and getting proof of concepts out there. I think that's even more critical now, is really going out, understanding, what's the business case for this opportunity, getting something out there, test with consumers, test to see if it works, and if not, sort of pivot from that as well.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So obviously everything's evolving really rapidly and a lot remains to be seen. So that presents some challenges, but also a lot of benefit. What are the biggest challenges you're facing right now as CEO?
Yeah, there's probably internal and external. So certainly in the external market, obviously the sort of geopolitical and macroeconomic impacts that are out there. So it sort of feels the world is in the sort of perma-crisis state of mind at the moment, and where we're seeing that manifest. And even though I'm quite confident on travel and the growth in travel, and I think travel historically has proven to be, quite, recession-proof and able to withstand sort of demand shocks that come into it as well. So travel sort of feels like it's going to continue to grow. But nevertheless, what we're seeing for our airline partners, for example, is they're struggling to get access to new fleet, which is going to impact sort of capacity. We're seeing in our hotel partners and our car rental partners, the access to sort of talent shortages and staff, particularly in the service industry. Yeah. So generally there's stuff to be navigated sort of globally in that space.
Are you seeing any kind of shift in terms of consumer behavior? Are more people renting cars because of flight costs, or how is that looking for you?
Yeah, so probably the biggest shift we've seen over the last few years is people booking, or sort of the lead time, which is the time in advance of booking, is shortened considerably. So I think people through COVID have probably learned that they're not booking their holidays as far in advance. Yeah. They're doing multiple trips, and I think people are doing a bit more just-in-time booking on that front as well. So we've sort of had to respond to that to ensure that our UIs reflect that our demand profile and our ability to sort of service those has responded to that as well. So that's sort of one of the big changes that we're seeing.
Got it. And what's the future looking like at CarTrawler? What do you see coming? Are you looking at M&A, or are you...
Yeah, we've talked about Gen AI, so that's a big part of our future in terms of sort of navigating that and taking advantage of that. I think, but outside of that topic that's very present, what we look as a business, we see actually we're a technology business in travel, and our proprietary platform that we've developed over many years is a really powerful, content aggregation, revenue management, loyalty platform with really easy to use user interfaces. So at the moment, our heartland is in car rental mobility, and now we're exploring opportunities to move out beyond that to offer wider travel services to our partner base.
Can you add a little more detail on what that would entail?
Yeah, I mean, we have our partners coming to us very regularly saying, like, who are the CarTrawler for hotels or flights or packaging or fintech or these areas as well. So there are some of the core kind of use cases that we're exploring, and like many others, delivering on this opportunity of wider travel ancillary platforms, and in our context doing that as a wholly B2B player. And that's what partners respond very positive to, is the fact that we're a B2B partner, we're not a B2C player, and the sort of inherent conflict that may come with that.
Interesting. And so with all that in mind, what does CarTrawler look like in your mind right now, 5 years down the line?
Yeah, I think I'd say a radically different business. I think we're a business which is taking advantage of our technology credentials. I think we are powering a wider travel ancillary platform, continuing to work with some of the largest brands in travel globally, and have taken advantage of this generative AI wave that's coming. And that's really exciting opportunity that's ahead of us, and one I'm looking forward to take advantage of.
Yeah, and can you add a little bit more about your acquisition strategy and your expansion strategy? What exactly are you looking at there?
Yeah, I mean, what we're looking at is sort of a wide sort of series of sort of sectors, and the M&A space, you have to be kind of careful about what you talk about. But we'd hope to continue to look at those opportunities, and are sort of confident that something will convert in the not too distant future.
Okay, and what are your priorities for the remainder of 2025?
Yeah, I think three kind of core areas is sort of continue to invest into our technology platform, particularly kind of understanding the impacts of Gen AI on our distribution, on our partners, and on our technology platform. So that will be the sort of the first part. Continue to go live with our new partners. So we've a long list of partners about to go live on our platform. So as a B2B business, our partners going live on time in high quality is something that's really important to us. So we need to continue to do that as well. And also to continue to invest into our platform, particularly enhancing our revenue management capabilities, enhancing our loyalty platform on behalf of our partners. So there's sort of three focus areas.
Okay, and let's shift a little bit more personal. What have you learned from having such an outspoken industry leader like Willie Walsh in his capacity on the board?
Yeah, Willie's been is on our board, and obviously he's a deputy chairman. I've worked with him quite closely in that. He's been on the board. So Willie's obviously a proven leader in the airline space through his sort of multiple CEO tenures. He's also Director General of IATA. So through Willie's insights, we get a really fantastic view of the travel industry, in particular the airline travel industry, the challenges and opportunities within that as well. He's also a proven chief executive, so he gives me encouragement and advice in terms of how I run the business, how I make decisions, and he's a hugely supportive board member in terms of backing the aspirations of CarTrawler to become a bigger, wider business, and a strong supporter of us in that journey.
Got it. That's really cool. Which businesses are you admiring most in the industry right now?
Yeah, I think for travel, I look at it from a couple of perspectives, which is the B2C brands that are out there, really doing well in what is a highly competitive industry. It was at one of the Expedia talks earlier on as well, and what they're investing into their brand and their technology platform is really powerful. I look at some of the sort of technology players that have kind of meeting with Hopper early on as well, in terms of what they're doing within the space as well, and from a B2B perspective. So, CarTrawler, as we sort of plot our strategy forward, look at what is the best of the B2C world doing, what are the best of the pure B2B players doing, and allowing us to inform our strategy in terms of what we do. And that creates the sort of impetus, the inspiration, and also the competitive tension to continue to invest into what we do as a business and continue to be the leader in our category.
Cool. And what's your wildest travel prediction for the next 5 years? I mean, we've had a lot of change already, so I'm curious to know, what's the craziest thing you think is going to happen?
I think it's going to be driven by, agentic AI, and I think it's that idea where, in travel, people talk a lot about sort of discovery and inspiration, and probably the best part of booking your holiday is that early inspiration stage where you kind of go, I want to go here, I want to go there. The worst part is you have to break that up into its components and book them and look at the terms and conditions and all the different payments. So I think the biggest leap and the biggest sort of exciting thing in travel is people being able to bring to life those really exciting travel and holiday opportunities through agents, and really taking lots of the donkey work and headache off their hands so that people can actually enjoy what should be an enjoyable experiences, which is booking really exciting holidays.
That is exciting. And what's your favorite travel memory of all time?
Before my wife and I got married, we went to a safari in Africa. Cool. So that was amazing, kind of 3 weeks, and just being out there in the wild, no phone signal, surrounded by elephants and giraffes. It was just amazing. It'll never be beaten. So I'd say that's right up there at the top. Awesome. And what's next on your travel list? I'm off to New York next week, off to your native place. So yeah, looking forward to that. So over there at work, but I always enjoy going to New York. Love food. Love the entertainment that's there as well. So that's next up. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you very much.